Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. Well, hello, my friends. It's great to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hold on. I just realized something. Oops. Okay, it's plugged in. Okay, never mind. Oh, sorry. Okay. 2 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. Hope everyone's good. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today we are going to be talking again about this serial killer in Stockton, California. Found something that maybe this serial killer has moved. A couple years ago, there was a killer in the Chicago area. And if you will notice about this killer, he has the same build, he has the same walk, and he has the same clothes. And this killer in Chicago also has had multiple victims. It's crazy, huh? I know. Thank you, Southern Grammy. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, while we're just getting started, if you guys will hit the thumbs up button, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right. Now, you guys remember this video. I want you to take a look. This is the Stockton killer. Right? Remember that foot, how it's out? Now, in the Chicago area, they dubbed this killer, not the Stockton killer, but they dubbed this other killer, maybe it's the same person, maybe it's not, the Duck Walk Killer. Now I'm going to show you the Duck Walk Killer in Chicago. Be ready. Now, this is the Duck Walk Killer in Chicago. I want you to watch this, though.
More than a minute of surveillance video showing who they now believe is the suspect in consecutive murders.
One of the distinctive things about him is his walk and his run, where his feet point out pretty significantly.
Monday night, 24-year-old
Okay,
Eliyahu.
now I want to show you guys this. Okay, watch this.
Say this is video recorded moments after Watts was murdered. The masked man seen jogging down an alley. His unique gait clearly visible as he dodges a puddle and disappears. Police hope tonight's meeting will help
Watch
solve
that
these
right foot.
crimes.
They're already in a tough position with everything going on.
Moments after Watts was murdered, the masked
Now I want to slow this down.
man seen jogging down
Watch
an
that
alley.
right foot,
His
or that
unique
left foot
gait
rather.
clearly
See right there?
visible
See how it's
as he
sticking out?
dodges a puddle and disappears. Police hope tonight's meeting will help solve these crimes.
They're already in a tough position
Live in
with
Chicago.
everything going on.
So they dubbed this guy the Duck Walk Killer. Now, the Duck Walk Killer was never caught, ever. Was never caught. Second thing, everything dried up. There was no more killings from this Duck Walk Killer that they have known ever since his killing spree. Very much walks like the legs in a brace, which limits his mobility to some degree. See, I don't think it's I don't think that it's a brace or anything. I think it's just, in my opinion, I think it's just his natural walk. To me, it's just something that is just very interesting. Now, on YouTube, or not YouTube, rather, let me pull this up. Bear with me 1 second. I mean, a lot of times serial killers, they move, right? And is this someone different? Is it the same person? They both are in, bigger cities. The similarities are insane. They're definitely insane.
As Californians, we know how important saving water is.
Let me just play this and then I'll find it. Nobody.
For leaks, and take advantage of rebates to help convert your thirsty lawn to a beautiful water-efficient landscape. East Bay Mud and you. Together, we can make every drop count.
An Oakland family is searching for answers tonight in the murder of their loved one. Juan Vasquez Serrano was killed in East Oakland, the first victim of an apparent serial killer who is still on the loose. Our crime reporter Henry Lee is joining us now live from the newsroom after speaking with the victim's sister. Henry?
Well, Alex, she and her family were already suffering from the loss of their loved one, but now hearing he was apparently targeted by a serial killer, their pain is even deeper than before. This is Juan Vasquez Serrano, who was shot and killed in East Oakland last year, but he's the first known victim of an apparent serial killer who's on the loose after fatally shooting 5 other people in Stockton in recent months.
Whoever did it doesn't know how painful this is and how painful this is for my mom.
Maria Vasquez is Serrano's sister. Through an interpreter, she told me she's sad and scared.
She's very afraid of someone just killing random people out there.
Stockton police say a suspected serial killer is linked to Vasquez's shooting death near 57th and Harmon in East Oakland on April 10th, 2021. A person of interest is seen here on surveillance footage. Police say someone shot and killed 5 other victims in the Stockton area from July to September of this year. All the victims were ambushed while alone in the dark. Vasquez leaves behind 3 daughters, now 7, 10, and 16. He and his siblings grew up in San Antonio Matute, a small town in Jalisco, Mexico. In recent years, he fell on hard times. He had separated from his partner. Neighbors say he earned money by working on cars in the neighborhood. He lived on the streets, as did some of the victims in Stockton.
Él era una persona muy amable con todos, alegre.
He was very kind and he would help others.
Vasquez says no family members have ever spent time in Stockton, nor do they recognize the man seen in the video. She says she had one question for the elusive killer.
Que por qué está haciendo todo eso.
Why are you doing this to innocent people?
But she's hopeful that with all the news coverage that the killer will be arrested.
She know that it's coming. Justice is coming.
Okay, so on Facebook, there is a page devoted just to this killer. Now, it was in Rogers Park. The Rogers Park killer, also known as the Duck Walk killer. This appears to be an African American man, very slim build, dressed very, very similar as the Stockton serial killer. To me, it's just uncanny that, and the thing is, this killer has never been caught. And if we look at this, you remember how, like, he also kind of, I call it like a runway model walk, how he kicks high in the back when he's walking or obviously running, but it almost crosses, this leg almost crosses this leg, and this leg goes out. It says the killer was hoping and leaping in the alley footage to avoid puddles. Interesting that although he is fleeing a murder scene, he is still has the wherewithal to care about getting his shoes, socks, and pants wet. He still has the calmness of mind to notice and carefully sidesteps puddles. He has more care for his shoes than human life. This speaks to his psychopathic coldness that is chilling. It also might indicate severe OCD tendencies. What do you think? It's just very interesting to me, really. The Stockton, not the Stockton, the Rogers Park killer, the Duck Walk killer, he has, now this guy did strike during the daytime, but it was in I think a park area that there wasn't, again, a lot of people. So here is some crime scene surveillance, I believe. This is by a small channel called Kurt Marchucci. I don't know how you pronounce his name. But this is just raw footage of the area that he killed. And it's always on a sidewalk or a park. It's always in, you see, it's always in like a dark alleyway. It's very interesting to me. Later on, we are going to be reviewing the entire video of the only survivor of this killer, only known survivor. And now, just coming out today, they are saying that this Stockton killer could be, he could have as many victims as 12. You see this, it's like a dark, it's kind of, it would be very dark. The back part of an apartment building. Let me see. See that, it's an alley. It's an alleyway. It's always an alleyway or a sidewalk. Now, this is the camera that caught the video of the duck walk killer. Let's try to find. Let me see here. They have never ever caught this guy, and ironically, he just stops. Where, what happened to him? Where did he go? That is the question. Did he move on? This is something that happens more times than we would ever, hope.
It's just released
Hold on.
surveillance video.
Hold on. This is it. This is the inside edition. Damn, I don't want him to strike me though. Let's see here. I guess I won't play that because that freaking strike me, I'm afraid. So some interesting facts about, or observations of the duck walk Rogers Park killer. He is since he was kind of stopped, right? Could he have been incarcerated for an unrelated crime? They have never picked up on anything as far as him being incarcerated, but it was just a theory at the time why he may have stopped. But it appears, if this is the same person, then he would have moved, right? Another one, he was picked up off the streets, homeless, evaluated, and sent to a state funding nursing care facility due to mental illness, or he was deceased. He left the Chicagoland area and moved. He is currently isolated because of, this was at the time for COVID or anything like that. But my feeling is that this killer may have moved, and he may have moved to Stockton. How did I come across this? I came across this from I think it was an extra. Hey Camille, I don't have my phone on yet. I'm sorry. I'll put it on shortly, I promise. Give me 1 second. And I'll do it. Start my thing. So yes. All right. So now we're going to start with this interview with the only survivor that we know of. And it is uncanny, guys, how, and this is no judgment really or anything like this, but this female that was shot looks very much like a man. And I can see in a dark at night being mistaken as a Hispanic man. That's my opinion. You may draw a different conclusion, but here she is. And I just put up the wrong one. Hold on one second. Now, to me, she definitely appears to be all right, here we go.
And today I'm sitting with a special guest in an exclusive interview she's reached out to 209 times to do. With me today is Natasha LaTour, the only known survivor of the serial killer that has been killing people in Stockton, one person in Oakland. She was actually the second victim, and she was shot on April 16th, 2021, 18 months ago. From the time that the police did a press conference announcing that there was a serial killer at work in our city. So I wanted to take the time, give you the opportunity to tell your story. First of all, happy to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
And by that, I don't just mean here in the interview, but on this planet.
Right, thank you.
I think a lot of people would consider you a very lucky woman, although under unlucky circumstances, right?
Yeah.
But I think when they hear your story and the details of it, I think they'll have a clear picture of why I say that. So if you could please tell us about yourself, take us back to the night that you were encountered by this individual that shot you multiple times.
Okay, well, I was homeless at the time, and I was a drug addict. I mean, I still am, but I'm recovered now.
Now, guys, remember this, and this is, I don't mean to be judgmental, but could you guys see that she would pass for a man in an alley? You know what I mean? I mean, I can definitely, in my opinion, I can definitely see this woman was shot 9 to 10 times and survived. She is incredible, absolutely incredible, and lived to tell it. I think he fired 10 times and she was shot 9. Just incredible.
And I was in my normal everyday life. You know, I went to my storage unit, and then I got dressed and changed, and then I went and bought a brand new sweater, and then I went over to Park and Union, the railroad tracks, the place where I always used to go, and it was about, I don't know, 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, and the train sound came, so I knew a train was going to be coming, and then the train started to come towards me. I mean, I was on the side, and then a man came around the corner, or whoever came around the corner, and they already had the gun out, and they just started shooting.
What at that moment, what caught your attention to turn around and see the person pointing a gun at you?
So I was standing sideways towards the bushes, away from traffic, and it's the one way, and I heard like gravel. You know, it was before the train was rolling, and so I turned and I said, "What the fuck?" I mean, and there was.
So she sorry. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Sorry. She was shot 10 times. She had fallen into homelessness. She had fallen into drug addiction, and it seems as if this killer, is always about the easiest target, meaning it's, the person in the most vulnerable location and the person of the most vulnerable in society. Listen to how she describes this killer, how he was cold, very calculated, and made sure he wanted to end her life, but he failed, thankfully, because he's done enough damage already.
There was no words exchanged. Didn't say anything. Didn't come any closer. Just started shooting. I just saw flashes. I mean, and then knowing that it was either the moving train or like some ridiculous high ass fence that I couldn't even attempt to climb with no no slats in the, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, and behind me an open field. So I ran towards him, knowing that I'd have to get closer to the street if I wanted to survive. And then as I did that, then he got down like a movie star pose. You know what I mean? Because at first he was just holding it like a thug, and I was really hoping his aim was gonna be off because he was like like that. You know what I mean? And then as I went towards him, then he got down like with two, and then it became my height.
Okay. So how would you describe the person that shot you?
I've described him. Okay, so the same way that I described him to the police way back in April. Actually, the first time I spoke with the police was in May. So he had on dark colored pants, not black, but dark colored pants. I don't know if they were jeans or sweat material. He had an open hoodie that was either navy blue or black, and he had a COVID mask on that was worn like perfectly, and it went across the bridge of his nose right over here. I didn't see the ear part. And so the top part of the hood was like fitted, kind of, but then like loose. It looked like the damn Unabomber, man. It looked like the Unabomber, except for without the glasses. I mean, and the sweater was unzipped.
So she is talking about how he first went to shoot her. He just did it with one hand, and she said she ran forward because if she was going to survive, she had to be out in the street somewhere or somewhere somebody could see her. And then he gets down on one knee, and then he aims. He rests his arm on his knee so he can get a good aim at her. That shows you that he's vicious. He's just vicious. I feel so bad for this woman. Now she's describing him, and she's saying that he wears this mask. Everything dark, maybe not black, but very dark, maybe blue even. She was Amy. She was good with the survival instincts.
Zipped, so it looked like he barely, like just threw it on, like he was gonna go do something real quick. I mean, so if he was to run, then it would come off his head.
Okay. And you think he was a male?
I think it was a male.
About what height would you say from your recollection?
I'm not sure. I mean, he was taller than me, and I don't know, what am I? I'm 5'6", I think. He's taller than me.
So I'm 6 feet. Would you say my height, about my height? Shorter?
About your height.
Okay.
Yeah, about your height. But then when I went down like this, and then he went down, then we were the same height.
Okay.
So and then after that, like I fell to the ground, and the train was passing, you know what I mean, and I was about 50 yards in, and can I tell the part about my grandmother's? Because that's what
most
happened.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds crazy, but the truth is that my grandmother's voices, I didn't see them, you know what I mean, but because I wanted to lay down. I just wanted to go to sleep. I mean, there's a burning it's incredible. You're wet all over. You don't know why you're wet. But I was really happy that my legs moved. But every time I moved my legs, I was getting wetter and wetter, and I knew I was dying. You know, I mean, I was asking people for help that were there, not visible, but they were there because their camp was there.
They were there in their tents at the time along the fence line.
Yeah, further down, like another 50 yards down.
Okay.
But and I don't suspect. I mean, that they heard anything. But when it.
So she was staying at a homeless, kind of like a homeless camp, or like a safe place for the homeless. So there were technically other people around, but they were much further down. And thankfully, someone found her in time. I don't know how this woman served. Nothing but God, in my opinion, saved this woman, because being shot 9 times. I mean, shit, if you're shot once, it's insane, but 9? It's crazy.
Train leaves anywhere, any city, any town, it's dead silent. And and they heard me asking for help, and they later on apologized. But so I fell down, and then my grandmother's, their voices came, and I had my one grandmother, Marie Celestine. She had a house around Pilgrim Street for like 42 years, and I would go out of the bathroom, and I would see her in her room praying, and I'd look back and then kind of tease her and say, "Grandmother, you still praying?" And she'd say, "I pray for my children's children." It's the first thing I heard when I fell down.
So just to explain to our audience, when you say you heard your grandmother's voices, your grandmothers are no longer on earth, correct?
Correct. So they told me and then my mom's mom, which is like, one of my favorite people in the whole world, she told me, move, girl, move. So I crawled out to the street. The detective later told me that I was scooting on my back, because he has got a video. So I was scooting on my back, and I got to the street, and then I said, as clear as day, I know it's scary. You can keep yourself out of harm's way, but please call 911. I'm dying. And there was no response. And there's no response because you don't hear any sirens. And then the car, I positioned myself on the tracks because I was really
She believes that if the police would have taken her seriously in the beginning, that there may not have been as many killed. She says the police did not take her seriously because she was a homeless drug addict, and they just didn't, in her opinion, they didn't take her seriously, which is, really sad. And I know, talking with other family members, they have said this, that they want to make sure that, this was taken seriously, because, some of them are homeless, and sometimes, unfortunately, they just don't get the same justice, unfortunately, or the same attention that is needed.
contemplating whether I'd let a train hit me, or you don't know if this person's coming back. And then I remember feeling really, really, really bad, because I know that that's a one-way coming from like the Food for Less area, which is like the only supermarket in that area.
Yes.
And so I had to position myself. There's like a little hump right there, and I had to position myself to where a car may hit me accidentally, and I don't want them to feel bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how were you found? Was it by a car?
I didn't want to move my legs anymore, so I was moving my arm. And I was yelling and screaming for help. And like I said, I'm very familiar with the area. I knew nobody was going to hear me, and the people that were hearing me weren't responding. And so I heard a car come by me, and I heard a woman say, the fuck there's not, look. And then I heard like a door open or close, and then I can tell that they went down a distance, and I heard some man say, I'm right here. I'm calling 911 for you, mija. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I must have been a Mexican.
Samaritan.
Must have been a Mexican.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they thought you were Mexican.
Rolled through. They thought I was Mexican all the way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yes. Whoever you are, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, because.
So that passerby with it sounds like a man and a woman.
I heard a female's voice. Yeah.
They saved your life by calling.
Definitely. And so while that's happening, and then I laid there, and then the breaths became real short. They became real short, and then it was just a few minutes later that the police were there, and then another train went by. When the police were there, I had.
To me, it's amazing that she can absolutely recall all of this, and just to have the mind of, all when this is happening, I gotta get to the sidewalk. She lunged toward the killer, to make sure that people that would pass by, even though it was kind of a very sporadic area for people being in the area at that time of night, she still had enough mind to do all of this. It's incredible, really.
Had enough oxygen to tell them, you know, to that's my backpack. I didn't want the killer to get my backpack. You know, and I always knew that there was nothing personal because I didn't do anything to anybody. I mean, I didn't have an altercation. I don't roll like that. I don't have any problems. And so it was.
So it was completely unprovoked and
Unprovoked.
and a surprise.
Unprovoked.
Ambush.
No robbery. No words. No nothing. But the person was prepared. They didn't walk away. They didn't pull the gun at anywhere. It was already out. You know, when they dipped that corner, it was out and it was pointed at me. I mean, and you know, and you're thinking like, what's going on? So, and then you expect for it to be embedded in other people to call 911 for you, and that's not embedded. So everybody, you know, you got to know that. They, you know, they don't. And then after, I laid there in the middle of the street, and then I realized why I was there, why my grandmother's led me there. It was I had one more call left, you know, so I called Jesus. Man,
I know this is a super emotional experience for you, and I know when you reached out to 209 Times, you did so because you wanted to share your story, and you wanted more people to know that you're a survivor. How many times were you shot?
The whole process, you know, I mean, I never clearly knew because, you know, you ask questions, you don't get any answers. I was literally cutting and pasting. I had to get my medical records and I had to cut and paste to find out what these procedures were.
I don't know about y'all, but that just gave me chills. That just gave me chills. And it appears that she's really changed her life around, and that makes me so happy. So happy.
So I'd be like, you know, in the motel room, like, you know, lappa crappa mappa, what the, you know what I mean? And then cut and paste that. And I'm like, you know, what? You know, it's just, I didn't know what was happening. So, and I was told in the hospital that they took 7 bullets out. I mean, I'm sorry, six bullets out. And then one was removed from, I mean, one popped out of here, just two bullets inside me, and then one right here. But then they told me that there were 7 bullets taken out. So I mean, I don't know.
Okay. So around 10 times, 9 or 10
9
times.
you know, 9 or 10 times. And this would so it'd be like 9 shots, and then this will be the grays. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the 9th. I mean, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But so I mean, after I had I called Jesus, and then
So 9 to 10 shots, or like 9 shots and one that, you know, grazed against her. And then she says she called Jesus. Amen.
That, you know, there's a burn. Anybody that's ever been shot, they know that it's a crazy burn. It's a burn that makes you sick. You know, like you know, you could, like, you know, throw up and everything else. But all that pain was gone. I didn't hurt anymore. And I asked him to sit with me. I asked him to lay down with me. I told him I was dying. Like, he didn't know. You know what I mean? And then I asked him to just never leave. I mean, and he never has.
So tell me about your recovery. So now you're in the hospital.
I'm in the hospital.
Wake up. Did you ever lose consciousness?
I'm sure I woke up 4 days later.
Okay.
I mean, from what I remember, and speaking to somebody, I woke up 4 days later. Now, whether I was up in between time, I don't know. I was awake, but I know that I was also withdrawing from drugs, 20 years worth of drugs. You know what I mean? So I woke up. There's a tube down my throat. There's my hands are tied. You know, your arms are tied down. That's how they do. I mean, and I wiggled my toes and wiggled my fingers, and then I smiled. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, and you start to recalculate what happened, and I had nightmares from that point on until I started working.
So tell.
I mean, just the fact that she survived is a miracle. Not only survive, but be able to still walk. You know, I mean, it could have hit her spinal cord or anything. It could have paralyzed her. She could have been virtually a vegetable. And She's fine. It's amazing.
Tell us about your, in addition to your recovery, what was the response like from law enforcement? Take us through the process.
Okay, so when I woke up, like all the movies that we've all seen, that it doesn't work out like that. There was nobody there. They never came to visit me. This morning was the first time law enforcement ever came to see me and ever took a statement. I actually had to go to them when I had enough oxygen to get to them. The first time.
Now listen to this part, guys. Just the other day, literally just the other day, law enforcement, it was the first time they had ever came to speak to her. She had to go to them when she said she had enough oxygen to get to them. They didn't take it seriously. Yes, Max Chica. And it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. In my opinion, she should sue the city, the police department. That's my opinion, though. That's a sin.
Time, and the detective, can I say his name?
Sure.
Detective Almanza, who is no longer, I understand, with the police department, which is rightfully so, because he doesn't need to be a police officer.
So I know you sent us a copy of the police report.
Yes.
And there's some statements that they said you gave as far as the description of the shooter wearing a dark hoodie, and some other descriptors that you gave in there. Was that the night of or the time they were taking you to the hospital, or are you saying?
So the police officers, two of them showed up first, and I was on the ground, like, kind of like
on the scene.
Yeah, on the scene. They came before the EMTs.
Okay.
And so I was like rolling. I mean, like, not rolling around, but kind of like moving around because I was burning up hot. And I had asked one of them looked down at me, and he said, with this tone, what are you doing? And I said, I'm really hot. I'm trying to take this off, not remembering that I had a zipper on. And honestly, I didn't register why I was hot. I was just burning up hot. I mean, you just want to be like completely naked, you know what I mean? And so he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to take this off. Can you help me? And his response was, we can't touch you.
Wow.
And he said it like I was trash, you know what I mean? And so I was thinking, okay, but you could put your knee on my neck.
So do you feel like you were treated a certain way because you were homeless at the time?
Yeah. I mean, but I didn't have time to feel that way, because I was honestly, truly, I was consumed with the love of Jesus, really. And he took over. I mean, I just asked him. I said, please don't let my mother find my body here. And then I just, if I was to be given another chance, I promised to try to love myself a little bit more like you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the ambulance came, I called my little boot sliders because I heard a boot come up and it slid next to me. And then I remember screaming one more time, and then them saying, okay, we needed that. I guess for them to know what was hurting, they lifted me up, and I was on the in the hospital. I mean, in the ambulance, thinking that I was going to die, and I was okay with that.
So you're saying that from the time you were shot on April 16th at 3:20 a.m. 2021 to this morning, that was the first time you've ever spoken to a detective since the actual shooting?
No, I spoke to them in May. Mind you, I called them.
Oh, May of 2021?
Yes, correct. But I called them. So I got out of the hospital. I was there from April 16th when it happened for 12 days. Okay, so I got out of the hospital, and then I immediately called the numbers that I had. I had a victim witness number, and then I never knew who the police officer was, because inside of my bag that my uncle gave me, there was my police property were my pants that were ripped up, and in the bag was at the bottom of the bag there was a card from the police officer, and it was, I still have the card. It was Field Officer Hayden, and so I thought, of course, that he was the detective, and no, he wasn't. And they actually had to assign a detective, and they did that once I got to the office.
Over a freaking year. Shot 9 times, spent 12 days in the hospital. Nobody came to see her. Nobody came to talk to her. Nobody came to take a report, because she was nothing more than another homeless person on the street to them. you know what? It's someone's child. It's always someone's child. It's very hard.
They assigned a detective for me, and so when I spoke with him, he came out. I mean, and I was able to get to him because he never came to my room when I asked him to come to the room I was staying at, the Stay in Suites. He never came to visit me, or to me. And I said, is this normal? Do you? And they go, well, no, what can you tell us about it? They basically treated me as if it was a drug deal gone bad, as if I knew something, that I wasn't sharing. And so throughout this process, throughout this whole, ever since April, ever since I got out of the hospital, it was a constant me trying to reach them. I've had the same number for over a year. I gave it to them when it changed, and when I reached out to you guys, I never gave you my address. But then all of a sudden today, they called me up when I'm at my mother-in-law's house, and they're saying that oh, we just left your house. We wanted to speak with you. And I didn't give you my address. Well, how they have my address?
No,
They've been having it for a year.
Wow.
I've been there for a year in the same place. The manager where I live, can attest to that. The numbers have been the same. I've written them down. It says number changed, and I wrote it down. The advocate has my number. They assisted me not at all. And then he told me that when I went down there again, they told me that to try to get my backpack because I wanted to get the key to my storage. I didn't want to have to pay for a storage lot. When you have it, and I met him 4 times, or I was supposed to meet him 4 times. He never showed up.
This was in May of 2021.
This is like throughout. This was in May, and this is in June. This is in July
2021.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay, so then I was I recently tried to get a hold of them again for victim witness because I thought I was going to have to move out of the building that I'm living in. And they never they never responded. And so what happened was I saw a cousin of mine had put up that there was a serial killer. I'm like, a serial killer, you know what I'm saying? And so I looked.
This is now a year later.
Yeah.
Or that was in 2021, or just
no.
recently?
This is a few days ago.
Okay, so yeah, we first announced there was a serial killer in Stockton 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Thank you all for the super chats. I greatly appreciate it. So she says the man in that video, the surveillance video that we have of the Stockton suspect, she says that is definitely the person that shot her. Even though she can't see him from the front, she knows from the back that in the way that he walks, that is definitely the same person. I would like to see what she thinks about the Roger Park killer in the Chicago area. I would like to see what her thoughts are on that, and if Stockton is talking to the Chicago police to see if they could make any connections, maybe with ballistics or something else.
Okay, so this would be maybe 4 days ago.
Okay.
I said, I hit her up. What do you mean it's a serial killer? And she goes, yeah, look, and so I check it out, and then I said to myself, well, these are the same circumstances, and then and I always knew that I would have to fight for something. God was preparing me to do something, and I didn't know what it was. I've been trying to write about my experience, and then all of a sudden I got writer's block. And now I know why, because the story wasn't over yet. And so when I saw that you guys posted that, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the police department on my next day off. I'm going to get a copy of the report, and I'm going to go back down there. Because now maybe you'll listen to me. I've been, sober this whole time. I've been, because I was, I may have, I got sober, 2 days on the 29th, but technically you can't say your sobriety date until it's like 2 days after your last intentional use. So it's May 1st of 2021. I've been sober since then.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah, and I was just basically treated like a drug addict. I was actually told, well, when you sober up, maybe when you get more sober, maybe you remember more things. And it was a constant, okay, well, there's no.
So the day she got shot, is the day that she became sober. What a testimony in itself. It took, I mean, literally almost death for her to get clean. And she's been clean ever since, over a year. So congratulations to her.
No response at all. No communication.
And what were you told? What were you told back then that you mentioned that you were told something by the detective?
Okay, so Detective Almanza, he looked at me and he came out and he gave me the.
Red, the way they connected all of these people together is through the ballistics. They have done it through the ballistics, so that's it. Thank you, Tara. Appreciate it, and thank you, Itsy Bitsy Spider. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Knuckles, and then he was like, "Congratulations, you fought for your life. I saw you. You made it." I said, "Thank you." And I said, "How'd you see me?" I said, "What do you mean you saw me?" He said, "Well, I saw the video." I said, "What do you mean there's a video?" And I asked to see the video on several occasions. I asked to see the video up to 3 months ago from a therapist that I finally got, and I gave her a release of information so that she can contact victim witness. And so it was never, I was never able to see it, but I always wanted to see it. I said, they didn't that jog my memory. You know what I mean? They never gave me a chance to see it, but he told me that there was a, he said, well, the gun is linked to a homicide in the East Bay. And I said, okay.
So this is the one now that they're announcing is linked. There's a homicide in Oakland.
So I told you, that information I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, and so I always thought, well, that's odd. You know what I mean?
So when you were told that back in the spring of 2021, that year,
I was told that in June, because I had to have my ID. That's why I know it was June. I had to have
of 2022.
2021.
So for over a year, they knew that your shooting, attempted murder, was linked to a murder in Oakland.
Yes, I mean, and which means so the first one here in Stockton, not the first attempt, but the first one here in Stockton in July, right?
Of 22.
Of 22. That means that they've had.
So for over a year, they knew that a murder, I think it was in Stockton, because she wasn't, I don't think, shot in Stockton. It was right outside of Stockton. She knew, or the police rather, knew that they were linked, and they still didn't contact her. She had to contact them. The first time they contacted her was just a couple days ago.
Had this information and they didn't share it with the public. They didn't warn the public. So basically, I'm here. I mean, one of the reasons I'm here is, and one of the reasons I contacted you is because you busted it open. I figured that you'd help, let them know what's going on, and that basically 5 people died because they didn't listen to me.
Wow.
I mean, they didn't offer to. I told them other details that I shouldn't share right now.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed that.
We don't want to
compromise.
Just so the audience knows, there are certain details that we've agreed not to disclose for the sake of investigative integrity.
Yeah. But the knowledge of, they knew. I mean, I didn't know that you knew. You know what I mean? And so it's when I said that, and then you asked me back, well, what do you know? What do you talk? You got to filter me out and figure out if I'm a weirdo or not. I mean, and then I'm like, well, yeah, that's. I mean, just as sure as you were on the phone, I was. Like, I think I'm that person too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We knew there was a 7th victim, but we didn't know the circumstances, and we did not know it was an actual attempted murder where a person was shot essentially 9 or 10 times. That's something that my staff, they post homicides and attempted shootings on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that I remember ever coming across.
No, I was going crazy looking for it. I mean,
So I've seen today that there could be as many as 12 now, 12 victims in this area. I think more ballistics are coming back, and It's not confirmed yet, but through the news, but I have seen that there could be as many as 12. There's definitely 7 that we do know.
So it was never made public?
No, I asked him. I asked him. Are you guys gonna? I even asked the advocate. Are you gonna say anything about this? I mean, there's people that are walking. This is this is Food for Less.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Food for Less. You're coming back and forth. I mean, and because we think it's okay to walk right there, it's not.
Yeah.
People get shot for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
No, they never said anything to anybody. They just kept it. Which maybe that's why I thought maybe there must be some more people. And because they just kept it. And they just waited for me, waited for me to tell my my truth, which was nothing. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them the information. I tried to follow up on the case. They gave me nothing. They treated me like I was just some homeless drug addict that had nothing, nothing to give, and they didn't know any kind of explanation.
So you feel like that they just at the time could not believe that somebody would just come up and randomly shoot you that many times for no reason?
I don't know if they believed it. I mean, or not. But what I do know and what's been made very apparent is they just didn't care.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, it shows me it's kind of clear. It's painfully clear that they didn't care because it took you to bust it out.
So speaking of that, we made the announcement essentially 18 months after you were shot, and you were the first attempted victim in Stockton. The first homicide they've confirmed happened April 10th, 2021 in Oakland, and then 6 days later, the shooter attempted to take your life.
Yes.
So here we are 18 months later. Now it's national, international news.
And the PC code barely changed. I mean, I asked him today, I said, this aggravated assault was going to be changed to attempted homicide, right?
So they weren't even, so you were shot nearly 10 times and they weren't even trying to charge with attempted murder?
I went yesterday and I got I asked my words were, I needed an updated police report because I wanted to show you an updated one that wasn't wrinkled. I mean, and there was nothing changed on the report. It was still an aggravated assault.
So on the police report, they did an aggravated assault for being shot 9 times. An aggravated assault. That's all it was, an aggravated assault. It wasn't attempted murder. They didn't even change it to attempted murder. What? That's ridiculous. One shot should have been attempted murder. Aggravated assault. Yeah, right.
Assault. And so I contacted my sister, and she does investigations with the California Department of Corrections. And I contacted her and I told her, hey, what's up with this? Why does it still say aggravated, assault? And then she goes, well, that's not right. And don't worry about that because the PC code's changed, but it's attempted murder. And I said, okay, so I didn't want you to think that I'm coming with some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, they knew. I mean, and they knew that it was linked to the other one. I mean, and so today I said to Investigator Cooper, is this going to be changed to attempted homicide? And he said, yeah, it's an attempted 187. So I mean, they're still not hearing me. And today was the first time I told them that nobody ever came to the hospital, to the bed. I mean, and asked me anything. It's there's no Columbo, no Elliot Ness, no Hitchcock at the end of the bed. Nothing. I mean, and then my calls were all unanswered. I mean, and my concerns were all avoided. I mean, and now there's 5 people dead.
Additional.
I mean, they didn't want to talk about. So who knows how many else is out there? They didn't want to talk about it.
So take us through the process of now you're seeing these more recent homicides occur. And are you kind of noticing similarities with your experience or how did you come to the conclusion to say, you know what, I feel like my experience was is part of this greater pattern?
Okay, so I saw I saw your public announcement, and it was just you. I mean, it was, and you were saying that hey, this is what's going on, and you explained the circumstances, and then and then I got upset and I put a post on Facebook. These aren't new circumstances. They're not new. I mean, and then I had to pray on it because I mean, let's face it, there's a serial killer out there. I mean, and I'm not dead. You know, so I had to pray on that. I mean, but I knew that, I mean, it has to be told.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and so, and I knew that by coming to you, that you would let that be known. I mean, and then add the two other people there. I mean, myself and the other victim. And I knew when I saw the image of the person from the back, even though I never seen their face, that was the person that tried to kill me.
So the person that's been released as the photograph and the video of the person of interest, you believe that is the person that shot you April 16th, 2021?
Well, that person is not changing their clothes for a year and a half. I mean,
what I mean is they look exactly what you remember.
I'm like, man, like, you know, you don't want to get no new beanie, no
same
new
type
nothing.
of clothing, the same build, the same height,
same. I mean, you know, you just same everything. Like he just.
So she says the video that we see of this Stockton, the video clip, what they consider, I guess, the suspect, she says even a year later after she was shot, that it appears to be the same person. She said nothing changed, which is interesting.
Came out of I mean, like, wait, and maybe he lives in a hole somewhere. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I don't know.
So I know there's been speculation on, you know, 5 of the 7 victims have been Mexican men. And I know that we asked about that, right? And you yourself admitted that you think that it's possible that the killer could have mistaken you in the dark, right?
I get mistaken for you know, for being a. I mean, first of all, my hair was longer and it was in a braid, but I had a beanie on. I also had a hoodie on, and I also may have had my COVID mask on. But that being said, you know, my complexion. I mean, I'm not. Maybe I had my COVID mask off because I think I was smoking a cigarette at that time. But you know, the point, you know, the point being is that, you know, I could easily be mistaken for a Mexican man at nighttime. I have been before. And my own, you know, cousins will laugh, like, you know, you Mexican, you know what I mean? And so that could easily, I mean, happen. I don't know if he's targeting just.
I mean, I can personally see where she would be mistaken as a Mexican man. It's not a diss or anything like that, but I could see that, particularly in the dark, you know, with, you know, she could definitely pass for a Mexican man. I don't know what her ethnicity is, but I thought she was Hispanic until just now, actually.
Just Mexican people, or just targeting people that are homeless and recycling. I mean, I don't know.
We've confirmed at least 3 of the victims, and you as the survivor, so 2, and you're the 3rd, were homeless at the time of the shootings.
Yeah.
That's we've been able to confirm as from our indications, the other ones were not. So let's talk about where you're at now.
Okay.
What's going on with you now?
Well, now so I've continued to just let God guide me. Every day I give him everything. I'm just so I'm great. I don't want to get emotional again.
I mean, feel free.
I mean, it's
people need. I feel this is a really important story for people to know, for you to tell, for people to hear, right? Because you are a 1 in a million. You're 1 of 7, right? You survived. 6 other people did not.
Yeah.
And then you're 1 in a million to, regardless of this series of killings. I mean, it's not every day somebody survives being shot that many times.
Okay, so I'm first and foremost, I'm angry that there's 5 people that are dead after me. That angers me beyond how I was treated, because I feel like if they made it, that they still would have been treated the same way that I was treated. I mean, that's infuriating. You know, to be you know, ignored and pushed aside, just like, you know, you're nothing. And if you didn't bring the story out, then I mean, and they survived, I'm convinced that they would have been treated that way. They didn't even want to admit that I was. I mean, and they're linked up. You know what I mean? So that being said, I'm sad about that. But where I'm at, I mean, in life, I mean, I've been sober since May 1st. I let God lead me every day. I'm here by the grace of God. He saved me. Jesus is my best friend. I roll with him. I'm employed full time.
You mentioned you pay rent now.
Yeah, I mean, I pay rent. I pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm growing my hair back. I mean, I had to cut my hair because I mean, I didn't have there was no medical help either. I mean, there was no psychological help. Jesus was everything. He was my counselor. He's just everything. When I asked him not to leave, and to be where there was me, that's what he's done. And he promised me I wouldn't leave you.
And when you mentioned your lack of mobility, that now you're recovering, I remember you saying
she didn't even get the psychological help. I just got chills. No psychological help or anything, but I am so glad she is off the streets. I'm so glad that she's alive, and I'm so glad that she is clean now.
it took you like 10 months to even get access to
physical therapy. Yeah, I mean, so I learned. When I was asking God, like, okay, well, how do I do this? What do I do? Then believe it or not, He knows about Google. So he, Google, and so I Googled doctors.
Is that why it starts with a G?
yeah, right. God, Google. So I Googled exercises for people that had a shot clavicle or broken clavicle and what to do with it. And so because I was letting it, what you don't do is you don't let it be stiff. You know what I mean? So I was able to work that out. And so by the time I got to therapy, it was just about.
I think she would be like a great motivational speaker to go into schools and talk about her homelessness and her brush with death from a serial killer. I think that would just be a great testimony for her and to so many people.
I think I went twice. I went two or three times for half an hour. I mean, and you could tell they were just trying to bill you. You know what I mean? And I was like, I mean, come on, I'm already past all this part. So it was just to get like a little bit of strength back, and for me to hear that, hey, can I move this however I want to? I don't have to be delicate with it. And they said, yeah. So I did. And then I'm not any kind of, I was having nightmares. So I had medication for nightmares. That's gone. I don't take medication for anxiety or depression. I'm completely 100% substance free, all by the grace of God. I mean, I have no cravings. It's all effortless. I mean, I cry a lot because I mean, I just get.
I can imagine you get emotional.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, I don't like. I mean, as vulnerable as you ever want to be is to be shot in the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and to find out that it's not the worst thing about it. Getting shot is not the worst thing. But I mean, I don't want to be on. I mean, I'm a tank now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you don't want to cry in tank.
That's
you know
what
what I'm saying?
Call you
like,
now, right?
I mean, tank? We kind of made that up.
Right.
Tank instead of Tasha because
if anybody deserves that nickname, I think it's
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I mean, a couple. I mean, in July, I had the car actually fell on me right here, and nothing broke. And I was like, God just got. I mean, the whole car was leaning on me right here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Changing the spare. I was like, he just got me all the way around.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I work full time. I'm happy. I'm married to my my best friend 30 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, and my.
So then after all of this happens, a car falls on her. My God, bless her heart. Bless her heart, man.
When all this stuff happened, I had disconnected from my family because I wasn't, I was on, I wasn't doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? So I hadn't seen my mom in like 7 years. She's my everyday, rock. You know what I mean? I mean, we're super close, almost as close as Jesus and I are. Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about now that a lot more has come to light in the media, both on our platform and now the mainstream media, national media? How do you feel now that you know more information and you're part of a bigger picture, how do you feel about the killer?
From the beginning of when I first got out of the hospital, I struggled because I felt like I was stabbing myself I was stabbing myself in the back because I found myself praying for this person. It would anger me.
Mm-hmm.
I would pray for him, you know what I mean, and I wanted them to have love and to, you know, and I truthfully, honestly, genuinely, 100% forgive the person who shot me because they, you know, I mean, I wanted them to know that, I mean, in a strange kind of way, they saved my life. You know, they were trying to destroy me, but they saved my life.
Well, that's.
This is just a powerful, powerful interview. It really is. She forgives this evil human being because she said, he tried to destroy my life, but he gave it back to her. Just powerful. She needs to write a book. She really needs to write a book too of how, you know, the rough life that she lived for so many years on the streets and with addiction, and how she got her life back.
Definitely a you know, interesting take on it.
I mean, I love the opportunity to tell them. I mean, if they would, you know, you know, the God is also there for them, and if they you know, you this could all be behind them. You could turn yourself in. I mean, it sounds crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna turn myself in. You know, you could, you know, God is for everybody. And he forgives. He's just, but he forgives.
Anything else you would like to tell the audience or leave them with? You have an amazing story, not just in under the circumstances of this serial killer case, but your survival and not just your survival, but also your recovery with even addiction and homelessness, right? So you have an amazing story.
Thank you.
Most definitely. Is there anything else you would like to share with anybody that might be listening right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you, I mean, I hate to say don't trust the, you know, the police, but I mean, if you were in a situation to where, like, you know you've been homeless here in Stockton, and you got hurt, you got shot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think you should come forward. I mean, and know that, I'm trying to speak for people that are, you know, that are no longer here.
So to pause that real fast, you actually think it's possible there may be more victims who have been shot, survived, but have not come forward?
No, and they're gonna get treated like shit. I mean, you know, that's a deterrent. You don't want to go. You don't want to go. I mean, I kept myself silent until God got me ready to where I was in a space to where I could, you know, speak. I mean, and not be, you know, treated that way. So I mean, I have no doubt that there's somebody that's been, you know, shot and either thought that because of their lifestyle that they deserved it, or I mean, or knew that the police weren't going to do anything. They could have heard about me and know that, okay, well, no, they didn't do nothing for her. I mean, they were going to try to hide this, Motek. I mean, even as far as today. You know, lying saying that, you know, that, oh, I mean, I've been trying to get a hold of you. No, you haven't. I've had the same number. So I mean, what I have to tell, I mean, I would tell people that are listening, trust, you know, 209 times, and stay off that chief because he's tripping.
So do you feel you were victimized not only by the killer, but also in a secondary way by the system?
The system was the worst. I mean, I'd rather got. I mean, I've said it plenty of times. I mean, I'd rather have gotten shot 10 more times than to have been ever deal with Stockton PD again.
Wow.
I mean, and that's not all the police officers. That's because not everybody, I'm not assuming that everybody knew. I mean, there's people on that force.
She would rather get shot 10 more times than deal with the Stockton Police Department. I hope this is a wake-up call for them. I pray that it is a wake-up call.
That, you know, that I mean, I'm sure are beautiful people that want to do their job.
So do you feel do you feel in you know, in the jaws of the system, you were kind of the ball was dropped.
Complete failure.
In your case.
Complete failure, complete miscarriage of justice, complete failure.
So do you feel like these are things that could definitely be fixed and improved
Yes.
for if anybody in the future would go through a similar, God forbid, go through a similar situation?
Yeah, which is another reason why I'm here. I knew that I had to be I had to get myself right and get that sobriety under myself under my belt and get all that kind of stuff working so that I would be listened to, because I don't ever want it to happen to anybody else.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen to anybody else.
It was far worse than being shot.
And as of today, there currently are 6 victims and 1 survivor, right? So let's hope that's the extent to which it goes, and this person is caught or turns himself in, as you would hope.
Yeah. Each and every one of those, each and every one of those victims, they meant something. They're somebody's something.
Yeah, and I think it's important for you telling your story today, not just for the, amazing context of it.
Yeah.
But I think also to humanize the fact that these 6 other victims were individuals that mattered to their families, and that they were people as well.
I don't even know. They matter to me.
Yeah. I understand part of the system that you felt let you down as well was victims witness.
Yes.
There's supposed to be a fund. You applied for $2,000.
Well, what they do is they part of their program, they give you they offer you counseling. They offer to pay your medical bills. They give you relocation fees if you relocation assistance, up to $2,000 should you provide them with any kind of receipts that you may have used. You provide them with the reason why you need to leave. So I had to prove to the Stockton Police Department that it was in my best interest, whether it be physically or mentally, to move off of the streets and into a motel room so that they can reimburse me the $2,000.
Okay.
They weren't interested in trying to help me get that letter. And so then when I moved from there to where I currently live, I tried again. And they weren't interested in the victim witness, my advocate, Andrea. Nothing. And to the point to where she didn't communicate with me, to where I went in there 2 months ago and she didn't even know who the heck I was. I was right in front of her. She was like, Natasha, oh, it's you. I'm like, yeah, it's me.
Well, we thanks to a special donor, who desires to remain anonymous, right? We have a special gift for you that Mr. Frank Gallardo has generously facilitated.
Wow.
Natasha, we, on behalf of 209 Times, we cannot tell you in words how proud we are of Stocktonian Natasha Tank LaTour. And God bless you. God bless you for having the courage to share your light and love and compassion and even forgiveness.
Yeah.
The things that you shared with us today were incredible. Motek and I have been having some private conversations with some people that we trust explicitly, and they decided to help us help you. Here's a little something you can open up right here for the camera.
Thank you.
And, I think we wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And you can
wow.
open that up too. You can read that.
On behalf of 209 Times, we want to thank you for your bravery and your commitment to the truth. You're a survivor and a role model for others seeking a better life. Please use this donated money to improve your life. And I can't wish that.
Yeah, we don't take care of you.
Thank you.
What I mean? So the system may have failed you, but we're making sure to fill in that gap for you.
And I got bands.
That's for you for your
thank you so much.
Fees that you need to relocate. And
thank you so. But just to show me, I have relocated.
Okay.
I'm off the. I'm going to be honest about that. I'm off the street.
Victims Witness should have taken care of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I hug you?
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's awesome.
So that's really all I can think about.
Should I have done that? I'm sorry, should I mean, I don't have bands. I'm getting ready to go. I'm walking out of here with nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, this is a very healing experience. I needed it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I got a little emotional. I didn't want to get that way, but you know, I mean,
I think a lot of people in our community do, and
yeah,
you know, including a person that's going around killing innocent people for no reason.
We gotta pray for him.
Natasha, when I heard that she didn't get the 2,000 from, the reason I kept asking, like, could you explain to me what victim witness was supposed to do?
Yeah.
And when I found out that if there was anybody deserving of this money, it was you.
Thank you.
So made a couple of phone calls and made it happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really she probably won't take it, but I really like to give it, to my mom. I mean, she helped me out the whole entire way.
You
Yeah.
do whatever you like.
Yeah.
That how beautiful this is kind of story that this has become. She, even after giving her the money, she's like, I want to give it to my mom, even though she probably won't take it, because she's helped me out the whole way. I'm just so thankful that she's living a good life.
She'll tell me to pay my rent for a few months. Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
You could have a big turkey.
Of course, a huge turkey, a huge one.
Yeah.
A huge one.
All right. Well, Natasha, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
Again, congratulations on being a survivor.
Thank you
for sharing your story.
Yeah.
On
Thank you for putting it out there.
209 Times. We would like to thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
And I hope you inspire others. And it's definitely something that should be acknowledged and admired and celebrated. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And everybody stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Everybody stay safe. And we are all hoping this ordeal will come to a conclusion shortly without any additional pain being caused to the community. Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
So what a wonderful, wonderful interview. Please, if you don't mind, take out the time to thank 209times.com. If you can tweet them. She is very unselfish, and just a beautiful thing. So I know a lot of people who just came in. They were asking about the Chicago killer versus the killer in California. Hold on, we're getting a call here. 662. Thank you for calling.
Hey, Justin, it's Camille.
Hey, Camille.
I'm sorry, I wasn't even thinking the video that I sent you might not be able to play, but it's so, it had that really good lit walk of his, and that just blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, this has got to do this.
What was it?
But, it's so like, you hear sometimes that maybe in Stockton he started and then was like honing his craft, because it seems like if you watch him in the different videos and even the ones that you were showing, he's running, he's not walking away. And this guy in California seems to have more confidence about him, or like he's honed himself, or improved in his mind to outsmart the police, and everything. And there's so many, that go state to state. I can't remember what serial killer it was that used to hide the kill kits in different locations. And then as he was truck driving,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, I can't think of his name, but this lady is amazing.
Mhm.
And I'm like you, she needs to write a book. She needs to be in front of people talking. She makes me want to be a better person. I mean, she is amazing, and the strength, I don't even have words to compare it to.
Yeah.
It is just unfathomable. She's amazing, and I'm so glad that she made it through. And to hear her sit there, maybe people will look at her, you know, and not just victim number, whatever, killed
Exactly.
over here,
Exactly.
you know. But yeah, I just wanted to holler and say that, you know, she's totally amazing. And like you said, after everything she's been through and they give her the money, she wants to give it to her mom. I mean, this lady, there's no words. There's no words.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, honey.
Thank
well,
you.
I'm still here. I just wanted to holler.
Thank you, my love. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So thank you, Camille, for calling. I want to show you guys this video. This is the video for the Stockton killer and the killer in Chicago. I forget what the Roger Park killer, also known as the Duck Walk killer. And just look at the comparison. You tell me. Watch this. Nine 973, please hold.
Okay, no problem.
Now, do you guys see that? Watch it very close. Watch them how they both walk. They both have this very, very interesting walk. Watch that left foot. See that right here? See that foot right here? Now, never ever been caught, either one of them. Now let me play. Let me see if I can find it, maybe. Just watch this. Now it's coming down. See how they walk? Their gait, the footwork. Watch this. To me, it's just amazing. 973, thank you for calling.
Hi, I was Amy again. You know, I was going
Amy.
to say, when you were reading my mind, like I was going to say, do a side by side.
Yeah.
Of the walking, but what I would describe is it's called like a wide based gait.
Yes.
In my opinion, that's like how I would describe it. But like it does look like that leg is sticking out. But it's unfortunate we don't have like him from behind. You only have one from the front like that, and the other one from the posterior view.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why. I hope that someone called the police Stockton police, because these police departments don't seem to want to solve their cases.
Apparently
So I
not.
don't know why they're not communicating with each other,
Yes.
Doesn't make sense. I'm like, and I did tweet this video out, this live stream out to them.
Good,
I
thank
tagged
you.
in it because I said, you failed. I don't know what I said, something like you really failed the survivor. I said that to them. And I just did hashtag stop serial killer, I think I did. I think that's what, I don't remember exactly what I tweeted. But they have, every case that we have, we need to be tweeting out to these police departments, hashtagging their name, saying that we're keeping our eye on these things as citizens, because you don't want this person coming to your neighborhood or my neighborhood and doing the
Absolutely.
same exact thing to victimize more people. It's like
Mhm.
they don't care. It's like what happened in California, where they defunded so much that they don't even put the resources now towards this. They have to put the priorities in the community and the local stuff, and really pay attention to what their capital is doing, and stop electing these people that don't care about them.
Yes.
Honestly, you could be so woke and not want the police to help you, but look what you get.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say. But you just read my mind, and you did the side by side.
What's your thoughts on it? I don't know if you can see it now, but
But the leg, I do see that left foot. It looks like they have some gait disorder of some sort.
yeah. Do you think they look similar?
It looks, the way the left is, it's like it's out. It's not
Yes.
straight, and it's just like I just say it's like a wide base gait. If you slow it down, it's like when I walk, like my feet are closer together.
Yes.
Like if I walk like that, I feel like a penguin.
Right.
It's like, it's weird. Just it's a strange
Mhm.
walk. It's like if someone has some paralysis or something on that leg, like they don't have any innervation or something, or they can't bend the knee, or something like that. Something is up with that extremity, But it would be interesting if we can get the other way around on the one on the right, the one on right, Chicago, correct? So
Yes.
that would be something that would be interesting if we can turn him around and look at his back going away from us, to do a real comparison.
Mhm. We have the Paul Yaw family member in here. So thank you so
Have a good
much.
day now.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Amy. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Which is one of the victims' family members who their life was taken very sadly. And we did an interview with her the other day, and she was very gracious, and we appreciate her time. But I think I don't remember if it's like, I forget what news. I'll tag it. I'll try to put it in my community post. But they were saying the similarities between the Stockton killer versus the Rogers Park killer. And the Rogers Park killer, from what I understand, was particularly targeting Jewish people, if that is correct. So devious, the black and white photo, which is the Stockton killer, and the larger photo that we see, this guy running and walking down, all the one in collar, is the Roger Park killer in Chicago. The Roger Park killer was never caught. He had multiple victims right here. And the Stockton and the Roger Park killer are both dressed very similar. The height appears to be the same, and the foot and the gait of this person seems to be very, very similar, in my opinion, at least. And a lot of other people's opinions. Now, could this Roger Park killer, who killed multiple victims and then stopped in the area, could this person have moved? Is it possible? Well, yeah, it is possible. This is what many serial killers do. They, once they do something in one area, they will get out of that area. So, they don't get caught and they'll move to another area. But once they kill one time, if they are on the streets, they will kill again. Always. It is a compulsion for them, and they must do it according to their psyche. Truthstick says, so many similarities, it can't be ignored. We will see as bodies continue to pile up. They always move if the heat is on. Yes, exactly. Exactly. If anybody wants to call in, 307-228-4906. On Facebook, there is a page called the Rogers Park Killer. It's got many articles in here about this killer and the victims that were sadly taken very senselessly. And again, it's just never been solved. Superintendent of the Chicago Police Department, Eddie Johnson, said police are following a number of credible leads of this is 2018, guys, by the way, 2018. 40 detectives were working on this case, and they said that they're up to 40 detectives working on multiple cases in the Roger Park area. He said there is no more police resources being deployed on the north side as there are on the south side, attempting to clarify accusations of bias in the city police force and government. Let me see if this will play. But Chicago is so overwhelmed with so much crime that does it just get mixed in with the rest? Don't know, but I really hope the Stockton PD and the Roger Park killer Roger Park Chicago police are talking in cahoots, talking together, and comparing notes, because this could be a big break in the case if they can compare notes and see, could this be the same person? We don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. They definitely appear to wear the very similar clothing, very similar build, very similar gait, which is it is an odd gait. It is an odd way that both these killers or killer put their feet. 903. Thank you for calling. Thank you, Devious.
Hey, Justin, this is April.
Hey, April.
I was just going to ask you, I'm not familiar with the killings in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Did those happen before the ones in Stockton?
Yes, a few years, 2018.
Okay, so they don't overlap, and it wasn't in the middle. They were before.
Yes, there's no overlap whatsoever. The Stockton, or sorry, not the Stockton, but the Rogers Park. He's also known as the Duck Walk Killer. He did a mass spree of killings, multiple victims, and then it just stopped. And then now we have the Stockton killer in California.
You know what the difference was, and when the ones in Chicago stopped and the ones in Stockton started?
Let's see here. I will tell you. 2020. It ended in 2018, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
it very well could be the same guy. The other thing I was thinking was, I know there was something you read about someone saying that he was cautious enough not to, or didn't step in the water puddles not to get his feet and socks
Correct.
and shoes wet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also maybe he thinks enough that if he steps in the water and then takes a step, they're going to have his footprint.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, that could, and you know, it's so sad that that woman was treated the way she was, because just think of the evidence they could have had they taken her seriously and right then searched that whole area and, you know, brought dogs in or something.
Yes.
All the evidence they missed.
Mhm.
It's sad.
It
It's
is.
ridiculous, and it's obvious to me that she definitely had God and many angels looking over her that night.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it
yeah,
was.
that's all I want. But I definitely see what you're talking about with this wall. It looks very, very, very similar.
Yes, very much so. So thank you so much. I appreciate you calling. Nice talking to you. You too, dear. Bye-bye. It's April. Thank you calling, April. So with this, this was 3 years ago, and these are observances of the what's his name, the Roger Park killer. And it says he's wearing some sort of thin soled, he says slippers. I think they're shoes though. They don't look like they're intended for outdoor use, and I think that that's why he's walking funny. I do not believe that whatsoever. Each foot occasionally externally rotates, but not always. Also, notice how he's running. He's carefully places his foot to avoid stepping in the puddle. He wouldn't do that if his gait were handicapped. He lacked the flexibility of ankle range of motion to compensate it for the next step, which he does easily. I'm going to drop this. I'll drop this in my community page, because there, if you want to look further into this, it's there's a lot of really good information about the Roger Park killer. Very good information, to say the least. You know, you can compare the two versus the one in Stockton. So love Reddit. Thank you for that. Oh, Fayette, thank you so much for your $20 super sticker. I'm sorry I missed that. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I think I personally feel like it's nothing that he's handicapped or anything about. I think this is just the way that he walks. You know how there's people who will walk on like one side of their shoe, and like I used to have one of my well, I still have a cousin, but he walks, we call him pigeon toed, and he would walk inside, like this, rather than out like this. He would walk like this. Justin, did you notice both were trains? Did you notice both are trains of some sort? I don't know what you mean by that, Camille. I'm sorry, honey. Yeah. Trains and hands in pockets. Does he have a hand in a pocket? Hold on. We got to look at this again. Let's see if he's got the hands in pocket in the one in Chicago. Shit, he does. Oh my God. He does have his hands in his pocket. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, this freaks me out. I feel like something is this is 2018. It's 2022 now. It's just something. I really hope the police are looking into this. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I will be live at, I think, 5 or 6 this evening. We will be talking about a little boy named Quentin. Maybe some of you have heard of him. I feel like it's almost another Summer Wells, but a little boy and younger than Summer Wells. But we have talked to the first babysitter, and the chaos that was around these kids, to say the least. Could have an ankle fusion, yeah. That's true. And then I will be doing a video. I'm going to be trying to film a video today on another case. Yes, Faye, you really need to brace yourself for Quentin's case. It's terrible. It's terrible. Some of these kids are born into this world, and they have so much struggle from the time they are born until something happens to them. It's just very sad. Very, very sad. So yeah, we'll be talking about that later this evening. We have talked to a previous babysitter, and there's just been chaos going around in that home right now. They're outside arguing and everything. It's really just a mess. Thank you so much, Aaron. I greatly appreciate your super chat. Thank you. You're very kind. And thank you all for your generous donations today. I appreciate it. It helps me greatly. If you guys can't donate or anything, just please hit the thumbs up button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's a free way to help the channel out, and it gets these videos out to other people. So with that being said, love you all, appreciate you. Thank you for being here, taking your time and watching me. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you chose to be right here with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Cami D. I'm so sorry I had victims close to trains, nails, and texting messing me up. Oh, no worries, Camille. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate it. Love you all, and thank you, Mex Chica. Thank you so much for your donations. I appreciate you, Mex Chica. What a car. This is the first time I am listening to most of this interview. Oh my God, this lady is amazing. Such a strong one. Yes, Paul, y'all. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you to the mods. Love you all. Please hit the thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys back in just a little bit. Hopefully you'll join. Love you all. Bye.